All right, good morning, boys and girls. It is about 10 after the hour. We got about 20 minutes to market open on Monday, March 9th. So we're just going to mark up the charts real quick and then get a daily bias, figure out what we're going to be looking at for predicting some price action and see where the day takes us. So let's start out by getting things marked up here. Oop, dang it. So you can see the first part of the process here is we're marking out the highs and lows of each of the different sessions, previous days sessions that are related to price action. So right here, bear with me. I'm still getting my wits about me here because we got started a little earlier today than typical. I say typical as in the last several months because it was daylight savings time over the weekend. And rest of the country advanced their clocks forward an hour. And where I'm at here in Arizona, we don't do that. So whereas last week I was technically on the same time zone as, say, Denver, where a more, what would you call it? Is that central? No. What time zone is that? Anyway, doesn't matter because I don't worry about that stuff except over weekends like this. That was equivalent to, say, Colorado time. Um, Last week, and now this week, um, now equivalent to California time. So now 3 hours difference from market open in New York. So for me, that means being up and at it an hour earlier than I typically had been during, say, the winter months. So, yeah, first day of getting up an hour earlier. All right. So, let's take a look at our daily bias now that we got everything marked out. So, first thing I'm going to do, let's go to the 4 hour on each of these. Just see what we are working with here. Okay, well, obviously still in a downtrend on the 4 hour. Looks like we gapped down over the weekend. And this is interesting. We got ourselves something that begins looking like a reversal, but we don't have an official reversal because we, at least on the 4 hour, oh, geez, hang on. There we go. Looking like we could be there, but let's see what. We don't quite have a break of structure on the 1 hour, although we are looking to get there. Actually, I take that back. We do have a break of structure. So right here, we've made a low. Well, we're making a trend back up, but we don't have a specific break of structure per se on where the last high was made. Although we do have a high here, and then we have a higher high, and a high, higher high, and a higher high. So this does mean that we are getting more into bullish structure. So would I call it an absolute reversal? Well, we technically don't have a break of structure just yet. But we are moving bullish. So actually, yes, our break of structure would be here because we established another high right here, which is a lower high, and then we break that with a higher high. And then here, we're breaking with a higher high and then a higher high. So we're in bullish market structure now. Okay. Now that we've established that, again, my early morning head trying to clear here. We got 13 minutes to market open. We are in bullish market structure. Not quite on the 4 hour, but we are on the 1 hour. So let's go to the 15-minute here. So we have one telling us one thing, one telling us another, sort of. I personally think the 1 hour is the indicator that the 4 hour is going to go bullish as well. So given that's what we're working with right at the moment, I think what we're going to be dealing with at market open. Oh, let's see. So we had a drop and then a reversal, move back up. London took a slight manipulation and a continuation up, coming down. I think what we're going to see is a manipulation. I'm not sure if we're going to come up then down, or we're going to come down here, take care of some liquidity here. We have a real tiny fair value gap right in here just below this area. So I would be looking for price action to come down into here, test this value gap, and then hold, and I'd be looking for a move back up for higher highs, specifically filling this gap down that we have, and then targets being New York lows, and then other draws on liquidity would be the next New York high. Let's see here. This I don't believe is going to be significant. There we go. There, that looks a lot cleaner. And then we don't need this either. There we go. Yeah, so right now areas of liquidity are going to be right down in here. We have this tiny fair value gap here. If this gets inversed, we might be looking at trying to do a sweep a little bit lower. But I'm going to stay patient on this because that's kind of where I'm seeing the likelihood of price action to go. Again, the theory being here that we're going to be dealing with some form of manipulation when the new money comes in on the New York session when it officially starts in 10 minutes. So the question is, where is new money going to go? Where is new money going to seek liquidity? And I am theorizing that I'm not seeing an SMT anywhere. Everything looks pretty consistent between the two on the 15 minute. So, yeah, again, I'm thinking liquidity sweep is going to be down in here. So we'll see. We'll see if this breaks through here. Let's see if we have anything on the 5 minute. Yeah, we actually have both of these right here. So we have this whole area as a fair value gap. That we could be moving. Which is true even here. Yeah. So we even have fair value gap from here to here. So even on those, we've got two areas of fair value gap that if they are respected, we can begin to look at a turn heading back up. So that's what we're going to look for. We're just going to look to see that those hold. I think it's pretty safe to assume that we'll have a pretty good market move one way or another. Again, my bias is market manipulation down toward this fair value gap just below these lows, perfect area of liquidity, holds, and then curls back up, and then we'll target London highs, New York lows, and so forth. Areas of liquidity there. Those will be preliminary targets. Okay. So we sit tight and just see if my assumptions are correct. Oh, market in about 7 minutes. Oh, excuse me. Also, I'm trading right now with a funded account. Passed the eval yesterday. Okay, bear with me a second here. Got a few minutes. Got my dogs tripping. I'm gonna go deal with them. All right, puppies be tripping. Also on the 15 minute, we got a fair value gap right here as well. That is currently not quite reversed, inversed. So anyway, like I was saying, working with a funded account now, and in order payout rules on this one, we'll limit the number of contracts I can take, and whoops, there we go. It'll limit the number of contracts I can take, and the consistency rule based on the payouts will also limit how much profit I will be starting with, or how would I put this? It'll limit the it'll limit the profit targets because of let's say, for example, like in this particular case, this particular broker, I'm working with Alpha Futures right now, has a 40% consistency rule, which means that no single day of profit can be more than 40% of the total payout that I want to get. So, math on that is, let's say my target payout, or my um, target for, yeah, my target payout is say $1,000. That means that no single profitable day can be more than $400. So, oh, and another rule is I have to have 5 profitable days before I can request a payout. They don't have to be consecutive, they don't have to be contiguous, anything. I could have a profitable day and a losing day and a green day and a red day and, stuff like that. Until I have 5 profitable days, I can't request a payout. And then those 5 profitable days, none of those particular 5 days, no single one of those 5 days can be more than 40% of the total amount of the payout that I'm requesting. Make sense? Okay. So, yep, that's prop firm rules for you. But that's how these things go. Really, the goal is just to get to the first payout. Um, so right now, maximum payout for this particular account I've got allowed is $1,500 at any given time. So in this particular case, that means no single day of profit for me can be greater than $600. So really, profit target today is going to be between $400 and $600, because I'd like the payout to be somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500. That's what we're looking at. So if we can manage something like that, we should be good to try to target our first payout and hopefully see if something is going to come about. I mean, obviously, all things being what they are, I would love to get 5 profitable days in a row, be able to request a payout going into beginning of next week. Uh, but the market's the market, and we will see. I mean, but that's really, that would be the ultimate goal, is to get to that first profit target. But really, it's all about making sure we follow the process. We follow the process properly, and the profits will come. So it's all about following the process. So I need to focus on the process and not so much the money, other than to make sure that, strangely enough, I don't go over in profits necessarily, unless I make all my profit amounts, relatively the same. And then from there, I can only request a maximum of 1,500. So, I mean, I could go for more profits, but they would have to be consistent. That's where the consistency rule can bug you up. So that's okay. Better to keep it small. I can only trade one contract at a time anyway until I get 30 profitable trading days, and then I will be able to up my uh, profit amounts. Oh, wait. No, 5 trading days, and then I can up to 2 contracts at a time. And then I believe there's another rule that says I can get up to 3 contracts at a time, but I'm normally only trading one anyway. So, all right, market open in about 10 seconds. So let's see if where I'm thinking is where it's at. We're going to stay patient. We're basically just looking to take one good setup. So. Okay, looks like we're setting up slightly bearish SMT on the 15-minute, but. NASDAQ definitely seems to be the more aggressive tick right now, more aggressive indice. Okay, so NASDAQ hit market on London highs, so it looks like the manipulation is more to the upside than the down. I'm going to drop to the 5 minute real quick and see. We do have a fair value gap. That should this close out, we'll have inversed this fair value gap, which looks like it was pretty close to being inversed anyway. This fair value gap, not so much just yet. Okay, so we definitely have a bearish SMT forming. Okay, I'm going to scale down to the 1 minute real quick and see if there's a possible entry here. We have an inverse, we have a fair value gap here we can get to. And we have a break of structure that we can look to here. Really, we just have a target right below these, right below here anyway. Because again, if this does go down, we're really only talking about I'm basically going to be looking for a break of structure right here or inverse fair value gap right here to take a short. Because we've already gotten our manipulation up in here on NASDAQ and we're creating an inverse, or I'm sorry, an SMT, bearish SMT right here. So we also can possibly be looking at equilibrium from here to here. We've already kind of hit equilibrium. So maybe something heading back up again. But this one, just tough play. I'm gonna go back to the 5 minute. take a look at what we got here. Okay. Still not much being shown to us. Let's go back to the 1 minute. Okay, looks like we'll be good to take a short here if this closes out. If we close that gap and we hit that inverse fair value, if we get both of these closing out below and we do get that break of structure, then I think we might have a pretty good move down. There we go. All right, I'm going to take the short. Target is going to be down here below these lows. So stop will be above these highs right here. Now remember, I don't want to go much past, say, $500 or $600 profit target. So also, too, another rule is minimum profit on these has to be $200 for your green day in order to make the in order to get a payout. So they've got some pretty interesting rules. It can be kind of tough. You gotta be strategic in the way that you work with your profits, work with your numbers. So it's more than just being able to trade a good setup. You also need to know when to be able to back out of a trade. Normally I'd want to just have this thing run, but it's just I'm going to get out of it. I know it's playing around a little bit. $124. I might get back in. Wait for a little bit of a pullback here. All right, I'm going to get back in. I probably should have hung around. I might end up giving this back for all I know. It was probably not a smart move. But if this thing is still moving the way I thought it would, then we should be good still to target down here, which is still going to be okay. So I'm just going to hang out. We're starting to get toward profit target on the S&P, so I might monitor this. See if I can get this to bounce a little bit more. Come on, just need a little more of a dump. I'm going to back out now. Okay, got out again. Let's see where we're at. 383. Okay, technically we're in a profit here. But I'm going to wait at this moment. I think I got out a little too soon, a little skittish. Getting it up here would have been the best bet because then we'd still see this moving. Having to get back in right now, I'd be playing with fire. S&P is clearly wanting to fill that gap. I'm going to go to the 5-minute real quick on these. Okay, so we aren't quite finished with that fair value gap. We haven't quite inversed this fair value gap. We still got some room that we can go here. So, I mean, I guess in some respects, we still got some room. S&P, yeah, see, ES has been flirting with this gap. So since ES was the lead, it's going to be a little difficult to see this drop down, but it's still possible. If we inverse there, then we're probably... If we inverse, I might keep going. I'll drop to the 1 minute and look at getting back in because there might be still more of a move. See, now we're starting to see a bullish SMT. I still think we're going to be bearish here, but I'm going to wait it out. Yeah, see, ES is flirting with his value gap. They've been flirting with it all along and rejected it all this time. They're still, we got a minute 29. It keeps wanting to play around, play around. This one we haven't even gotten to yet. So we just have to wait and see. I got a little bit of money out of it, but let's see if there's another entry point here. Yeah, if it rejects, or if it doesn't reject the fair value gap or disrespect it, if it respects the value gap and begins heading back up, then that's pretty much going to be our manipulation, our final manipulation. We got 30 seconds left. If this value gap gets inversed, then I'll be looking for a continuation. Move to the 1 minute. Looks pretty strong that it will. Nope, it got respected. Okay, so now I'm going to look for something coming the other way. I don't really see a value gap anywhere there. Let me see what I got here. Maybe a break of structure. So look for a candle to close, and then we're looking at going into a high. Oh, Nope, nope, nope. Looks like we might be taking it out after all. It just took a minute. No, stay patient. There's nothing quite there yet. We're still respecting the gap. Interesting that it's right now. I think it's just shaking out liquidity on both ends because it can, liquidity above these highs, fair value gap here, fair value gap, which is essentially here that it's been playing with. On the 5 minute anyway, it's been respecting it. It even respected it on the 15 minute so far anyway. It could still head down. Oh my God, dog, please. If we do get an inverse on this fair value gap, then we're probably still going to see some move lower. But something tells me this gap is going to be tough to reject or tough to inverse. We have a value gap going the other way now. So that's going to be another thing to look out for. So right now we got value gaps in both directions being respected. So it looks like we did come down, and check out these target areas. So, that would have been a good play had I stuck with it. Looking more at just, making sure I'm staying in the money than just letting it play out. So again, that's trying to pay attention to the money instead of the process. Well, it's possible we could be inversing the gap on the S&P. Okay, we've inversed that gap, so I'm going to move down to the 1 minute and see if I can find a continuation here. If we get a candle that closes lower, that's probably a good sell sign. Okay. All right, I'm going to take the short. And not sure what target's going to be. Let's see what my target should be here. I don't know. I guess these areas of liquidity, maybe something down here would be really good, but that's really low. I guess we'll just target to here. Hmm. Yeah, we're having a little trouble here, so I'm thinking this might be a good, might be wanting to pull out here at some point. I don't know. This still looks pretty good for a, nope, I guess not. No, we got a fair value gap here that we're trying to respect. We got some tall wicks, so that's a good bearish move, good bearish indication. Real slow market structure, real slow price action. Target's right here, these lows. Okay, I'm out. All right, 665, shoot. Okay, I say shoot. A good profit day, but I was targeting between 5 and 600. I went 665, but I don't want to purposely try to lose any money. So, all right, we're okay there. That's good for today. Oh, I don't want to take any more chances or issues at this point, because I'm already in a place where I can get max payout. Anyway, that'll do it for today. And if you know, basically, let me just explain what my strategy is here, so you guys can understand. So I'm using basically something akin to an ITC or a TJR type overall strategy in order to find daily bias, entry points, things like that. So things like SMT and fair value gaps and that stuff. But you've pretty much, if you've been following this channel, understand that already. But the real strategy is trying to figure out how to use that market strategy to qualify an account, which I've done probably 3 or 4 times now. But now, next stages is how to, again, use the strategy, use the entry and market strategy along with a payment strategy. a strategy on a day to day. So we're going to take this on a longer basis now that, okay, I've shown that the strategy itself can be profitable and you can definitely make money with it. Now, inside a prop firm with prop firm rules and guidelines and dictates, can we structure another strategy on top of the the actual price action strategy so that we have the ability to be able to build toward a first payout. So that's what I'm testing right now. I know there's, tons of prop firm guys out there that have been doing things, they'll full port prop accounts, get 1 day stuff, and then begin trading like banshees. I haven't really understood it. Some of that hasn't made sense to me, even though many of them, have become very, very profitable doing that. This is a strategy where what I want to do is not have to change my ultimate process for being profitable in order to just be profitable in the beginning. Because what happens is if I try to go with some of these more, get in quick strategies and try to build money fast strategies, you begin corrupting your disciplined process. And it's the disciplined process that's going to work better for you over time. That's the one that's going to keep you in the game. These, get in quick, go full bore, blow accounts, and just when some hit, then you begin to master profit. Those kinds of strategies, although probably very successful for some, they'll mill through a ton of money, and in the process of doing that, you begin developing bad habits. The habit then becomes, let me full port on this, or let me, uh, 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 blow a bunch of accounts and just go until something clicks and then you get enough. The problem is trying to switch modes like that becomes much more difficult. So my attempt here is to stick with the very specific process and trading strategy that I have now disciplined myself to do, that has shown that I can be profitable with it and consistently profitable as long as I stick to that process and that trading plan. And then from there, the overall plan is to integrate that into what these prop firms are doing so that I can begin to build toward my first payout. And then from there, use scale to be able to build bigger money. So first, need to get to the first payout with the first prop firm, with one prop firm. And then with one account, I should say, in one prop firm, one account. Just get first payout there. Maybe a second payout just for proof of concept that I can build some consistency around that, or if it's even possible to. Then begin to say, okay, now we can scale up and we will trade 3, 4, 5 contracts at a time, or we will trade the more aggressive contracts where we can, work with $100,000 equity buy-in, and towards, I think Alpha Futures has one plan where you can get payouts up to $15,000 at a time. So, and then of course there's also Tradeify. There's what's the other one? Take Profit. I've traded all three of those prop firms at one point or another, and it's what I begin finding is that if you're trying to trade to the prop firm rules, then you end up falling away from your process, your actual trading plan, your trading strategy. You begin chasing whatever it is that the rules have to give you to get money, or to try to be in the money for it, whether it's qualifying or whether it's trying to get your first payout. And I find that just a dangerous road to go down if you're creating one set of habits to get to one goal and then trying to make that switch to get to the next goal. Again, my theory is find your strategy, find your trading plan, stick with it, and then let it work its way through. The only modifications from there is just limiting the amount of profit that you are pulling from the market to stay within the guidelines in order to get that first payout. At some point, for example, with Alpha Futures, after 30 trading days, there's rules that after 30 successful trading days, meaning green days, 30 profitable days, I guess is the better way of putting it, um, that it opens up more availability to payouts for you. And that can also be true in some of the other accounts as well. So we're going to work with this and try to get the whole idea. Just get to that first payout, man. Just satisfy the rules, use the strategy and the process at hand, which now we've shown can consistently make you profitable, from an actual, you know, zero to plus dollars standpoint. And then from there, get to your first payout and begin building some actual real equity, with the ultimate goal being pulling away from the prop firms and being able to trade into a full cash account. This is also a good testing ground for going into a full cash account, because what that'll allow is, as you build equity with the prop firm accounts, at some point, you know, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 in, $10,000 in, you'll be able to pull that money out, go into an actual account, and then begin building more from there. Because with that dollar amount in there, in being, you know, trading just one contract, you should be able to build again more quickly. And now you're doing it inside of an actual personally funded account, an actual brokerage account that does not have a bunch of rules around it. And hopefully by that point, you've established enough discipline and enough fidelity to your trading strategy and your trading plan that you can then keep building from there. So that's really the goal, in doing what I'm doing here. So I'm trying to see if this is something that I can keep pushing towards and building. And if I can, I'll shoot another video that fully explains exactly what this is all about and what I've done to do it. And you know, we'll see where it takes us in the next few days, weeks, and months. And hopefully by year's end, there will be a significant profit curve. So there it is, boys and girls. Enjoy the rest of your day. I've got a couple of appointments and some other tasks I need to get done today. It's going to be a busy week to try to keep the ball rolling. So we will see you all tomorrow. Good luck with your trading. Stay true to your plan. Stay true to yourselves. Stay disciplined. And have an awesome and happy day. All right. Take care, y'all.